When winter woods transition to spring in the Georgia mountains, it's magical. In early March, the hardwoods are yet leafless. 2 months later, they are so lushly green that distinguishing one species from another is overwhelming. In between, in late March and April, their flowers aid us in identifying many trees that blend in the rest of the year. With a bit of practice, you can readily distinguish between the white flowers of fringe tree, hawthorn, black cherry, serviceberry, and of course the iconic flowering dogwood. Or you can identify the red flowers of redbud, red maple, and red buckeye. With that in mind, here are 10 Georgia hardwoods you can identify in spring. Number 1, black cherry. In April, tent caterpillars love to spin their protective webs in the forks of black cherry limbs. The flower heads, long spikes with small white flowers, appear in late April. The fruit ripens in June. Its flesh is edible, but the seeds contain a compound that the body turns into hydrogen cyanide, which is toxic if enough seeds are consumed. This medium-sized tree is found throughout the state, and its lumber is highly prized in the production of fine furniture and cabinetry. Number 2, fringe tree. This shrub or small tree blooms in delicate white abundance in late April. The flowers hang loosely on slender stalks and drooping clusters. This tree is known by many names: fringe tree, Grancy graybeard, old man's beard, and others. It is found throughout the state except the highest North Georgia mountains. The fruit, a dark blue to nearly black drupe, ripens in July. Number 3, downy serviceberry. The elegant white flowers of this small tree appear in mid or late March. They are star-shaped with 5 narrow white petals. The fruit follows in May. Serviceberry, like fringe tree, has many nicknames including shadbush. The old-timers called it sarvis or sarvisberry. It is found throughout Georgia except the lower coastal plain and coastal region. Number 4, hawthorn. The complex, graceful white flowers of this shrub or small tree appear in April. Hawthorn is closely related to serviceberry, but flowers a few weeks later, and the flower petals aren't as narrow. Each flower has 5 white petals and, depending on the species of hawthorn, 10 to 20 colorful stamens in the middle. There are about 800 types of hawthorns, most of them botanically very similar, so most botanists categorize them simply as hawthorns without further distinguishing between them. Most hawthorns have thorns. The fruit is sometimes made into jams or jellies. Number 5, flowering dogwood. The showy white blooms of this small tree appear in late March and early April. The bark is dark and dense, and the wood was once used to make shuttles. The berries are glossy green by late spring and turn red in late summer. Dogwood is found throughout the state, and it is the state tree and or flower of Missouri, Virginia, and North Carolina. Number 6, red maple. The burst of small red flowers bloom during the first prolonged warm spell of winter, usually February, but sometimes as early as late December, providing a blush of pinkish red in midwinter. The red seeds, called winged samaras, appear in March. This medium-sized tree is found statewide in abundance. Number 7, redbud. The delicate lavender blossoms often form a pink haze on mountain slopes in late March. The flowers resemble those of peas, which makes sense since this species is a member of the pea family. The flowers are in fact edible, having a pleasant nutty taste. This small tree is found in the western half and the northern half of the state. Number 8, red buckeye. This small tree begins to leaf out in March and then sends up a spike of upright, brilliant red flowers in April. The leaves are palmately compound, meaning 5 leaflets radiate from a common point at the end of the stem. This tree is found in the southern half of the state and on the western border. Number 9, black walnut. A close cousin to the hickories, this medium-sized tree has dark, tight, hard bark. The wood is highly valued for use in cabinetry, furniture, and, in bygone eras, airplane propellers. The globose fruit is obvious by June, ripening into a nut with tasty meat by fall. The pinnately compound foliage gives the tree a graceful, lacy appearance. It is found in the northern half of the state and along the western border. Number 10, blackjack oak. This small tree has very hard, dark, blocky bark. The spatula-shaped leaves emerge in late March and form a dense crown by April. They are distinctive. No other tree has large spatula-shaped leaves. Found throughout the state except in the Okefenokee swamp, this tree has wood that burns well but tends to pop. It's good for campfires and barbecuing, but not for fireplaces. Can you find any of these trees blooming in your neighborhood this spring? Flowers are a big help in identifying Georgia hardwoods, but bark, leaves, buds, smells, and other characteristics help too. Get out there and have fun in the woods. Thank you for watching this Georgia Backroads program.